with our build. I always save the fun stuff for last. Okay, so let's just run it. Let's see what happens. It might die. It might do wonderful things. All right, so we haven't done anything yet, but we did new up all of our stuff. All right, Gary fights, and Gary returns 7 points of damage because Gary is just a lowly carpenter, and that's what carpenters do. And it also deducted however much stamina. So now, for the rest of the day, Gary can only do X number of actions. So, console right line. Gary attacks for 7 damage. Yeah, you do, Gary. Yeah, you do. Let's go ahead and read key. Just waiting for us to do that. All right, so Gary, I want you to equip that hammer, equip those gloves, equip that hat, and add the charm to your inventory. And Gary puts on his Sunday best. Let's look at Gary real fast. And inside of his inventory, we have one thing, and the attack boost for that is 3, and its type is a keepsake, and it's called a test charm. So already we're looking pretty good. And if you look inside of this inventory, again, doesn't really matter. We can go into what that actually means later. But his outfit, he's got 2 things, and his weapon is a test hammer. If you look at the weapon, that's got an attack boost of 2. All right. So what happens when Gary fights now? Gary does 14 damage. Gary has grown up a little bit. Okay, so Gary attacks for 14 damage. Then read key. Oops. Read key. Alright. So, to round this out, we have added the ability to have our players equip weapons, equip wearables, so clothing and such, and also to have charms in their inventory. And we've done all that, I want to say, somewhat cleanly, thanks to the bridge pattern. We've been able to add that functionality without having to jump too far into the weeds of this abstraction. We didn't add any functionality here. We have types. We've got a basic contract with not much in it. And we've got our base inventory item. And what's allowed us to add all this functionality to player without having to disrupt this domain too much is the bridge pattern. We have an abstraction here that we bridge to from this abstraction. We put a whole lot of functionality into this abstraction. We abstract this again and refine it into 3 more things. And they all play very nicely together. And so for the most part, we're still looking pretty clean. Now, player's getting pretty big. And like I said, there's some points in here that we can refactor. But as far as 3 weeks goes, and we still have some more functionality we can layer in, as far as 3 weeks goes, to have all these things working together, we can create players, we can differ their strategies, they can do the 4 basic things, they've got different ways of implementing those 4 basic things, and now they can wear things, they can equip weapons. It's not bad. There's still a lot more to do in the game, but I think we're staying true to this idea that we can use these design patterns to help architect out this game before we actually get too far into like the nitty gritty. Alright, that's all the time I have for tonight. I'll be back on Saturday at 8:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll start kicking around this concept of refactoring out what we have and slimming this down, making it look real nice. I'll leave the stream open for a few seconds while I'm closing out to see if anybody has any questions or comments. But otherwise, thanks for hanging out, and I hope you're starting to see that even though we're doing this in a very procedural way to test it out, when in a few more weeks, when we start to write our game engine, we're going to have a lot of stuff to play with, and it's going to come together really easily because we put a lot of thought into how we're constructing it all out here. All right, thanks again. All right, don't get any questions, so thank you all and good night. I will make these videos available on the YouTube. I'm going to do that again because I like it. I'll make these videos available in the archive on Saturday. We're going to have all 3 of them up, and if you can hang out on Saturday, you should see some more of the game coming together. All right, thank you.